right, guys, whenever you guys are ready.
Davante, you always get a chance to watch the film and check it all out and see what happened. Anything that was encouraging about what you saw when you grinded it out on the tape?
I mean, yeah, definitely. We got a lot of work to do just all around, obviously, to be a complete offense. But and we working vigorously at that. But yeah, I mean, we did some good things. Really efficient in the pass game. We got to get the run game going, and that means everybody, obviously, the receivers getting in there and continuing to block and getting a good push up front and all those good things. So some good stuff there. We just got to keep pushing and keep getting better.
Comes to creating more explosive plays downfield. AP mentioned, there's a couple, I don't know specifically what he was talking about, but he was saying there's a few plays you guys called that just didn't come together. I know that's something that kind of was an issue last year. What does it take to kind of put those together more often, just as an overall offense this year?
I mean, it's not always as easy as it looks. Sometimes you catch them in the right coverage, sometimes you don't. And obviously, the way that I get played a lot of times, we call a play in hopes that they'll play something, and then depending on what they do, we got to adjust from there. So sometimes it's a little bit of luck of the draw of kind of the play call mixing up with the coverage you're going up against, and then sometimes it's just guys got to make plays regardless of coverage, and get balls thrown and make it work in the run game or whatever, regardless of what they're showing us and all of that. You can't really make excuses. You got to get it done, but that's just the reality. Sometimes we call certain plays and they'll give a funky coverage and it'll kind of ruin the shot that we want to take, or we had the screen called or whatever the case may be. So I think the name of the game is just adjust and figure it out.
Some of the challenges you're seeing from Baltimore's defense this Sunday?
I mean, they're one of the best defenses in the league. They got a lot of smart, skilled football players, and basically at every single, level of the defense, especially. And I mean, that's obviously what I've paid attention to the most. And the offense is tough to deal with as well. So it's difficult when you got a well-rounded football team like that, and you got to do a lot of things right. But we had a good practice today, and in hopes of correcting a lot of things we didn't do as well last week.
You're obviously locked in, Davante, on what you want to do on the field, but in the course of a game, when you kind of peek up and look and see, what have you seen out of Lamar Jackson throughout his career?
Well, he's who I think I mentioned it to y'all. I don't know if it was this year or last year, but going into my 21 season, I felt like that was an area, broken tackles was an area that I really wanted to focus on and push and make better. And I was literally finding myself watching Lamar Jackson highlights like in my locker before the games. Like, dude changed the game. He's the best, in my opinion, best ball carrier ever. No matter what position you want to talk about, I don't think anybody's as big of a threat carrying the football. So, and obviously he's worked really hard to develop in the other parts of his game as well, and you've seen that come a long way too. So, he's a huge threat. Somebody you got to be accountable for out there, and make sure you know what he's doing, and getting on the film of that. And obviously I don't have to worry about that, but yeah, he's a hell of a football player.
I saw you doing the K Adams show now on a weekly basis. Are you just kind of at the stage of your career where you want to? I mean, do you have to get talked into something like that, or is it something that you want to get your voice out there a little bit more than maybe it has been in the past?
I mean, sometimes it's fun. It depends on the opportunity, and I think that I have been doing a few more things. I think it's sparked the interest of, it's been more the demand than anything. It's been a lot, and I've had a lot of that in the past. But once you give a little bit of that, and talk a little football, and people want to hear what you got to say. So that kind of came naturally, and I've been a fan of Kay, and she's been a fan of me since basically I got in the league, and so it was kind of a good deal, and yeah, and they pay you too, so it helps.
You said, and I know athletes have to deal with when you say things, it can get distorted sometimes,
right.
Depending on how it gets presented. Do you feel like from your point of view and an athlete's point of view that being able to get your message out there in a format like that is kind of a safeguard to stuff like that happening?
Yeah, sometimes, but it's not you're not always safe in that world with social media these days either way, because I'll say 2% of the people actually see the content, as the video, or just like this interview right now. It's going to be a quote out there, and that gets taken out of context potentially because you don't see the tone and who's talking and whatever. They just see the line, and it's been several times that, you do a podcast and then they say something about, they ask you about your confidence level, and then I'm talking about a whole thing, and then at some point I say, and I really, that's why I believe that I'm the best in the league, and then that's Davante, and they put that out there, and then it's like, oh yeah, he's just beating on his chest talking like he's the best in the world, when really it was just taken completely out of context. So you're not always safe, but hopefully the people that are dialing into the news are actually care enough to watch the interviews too.
All good? Thanks,
Cool.
guys.
Yep.
Thank you.